Welcome. Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. Marcus Aurelius. High-value men, it's time to dive into a truth that few dare to talk about. Have you ever noticed how women are often drawn to men who bring an air of mystery, confidence, and even a little unpredictability? In today's video, we're breaking down 10 toxic traits that women secretly love, but be warned, these need to be used wisely. What are your thoughts on the balance between being the nice guy and showing an edge? Drop your comments below and let's explore this complex dynamic together. If you're ready to level up your understanding of attraction, hit that like button and let's get started. Number 1. Be unavailable. In today's world, where instant communication and accessibility are the norms, many high-value men overlook the power of being unavailable as one of the key toxic traits women are drawn to. Understanding this dynamic can enhance the way you present yourself. Let's begin with a quote from Epictetus. "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This Stoic wisdom applies directly to how you manage your availability in relationships, as in life. If you offer yourself too freely, you diminish your value. Women, whether consciously or unconsciously, love the thrill of pursuit. This is a psychological truth, backed by studies, showing that scarcity increases desire. The same principle applies in marketing, where limited edition items or exclusivity create heightened interest and demand. But this doesn't mean disappearing or playing manipulative games. It means managing your time with intention and showing that you have a life beyond her. By focusing on your personal goals, passions, and growth, you create a natural air of scarcity, making your presence more meaningful when you're around. Think about it this way: if you're always available, constantly texting or responding immediately, she may start to feel like you're taking up too much space in her life. It's like a luxury handbag that's just out of reach, desirable because it's rare, and owning it makes a statement. You should position yourself similarly, not to be distant or cold, but to respect your own time and passions. When a woman knows that your world doesn't revolve around her, it ignites her curiosity and triggers that spark of attraction. Scarcity works because it keeps her on her toes, making her wonder what you're up to and, more importantly, why you're not immediately available. In modern life, where endless distractions and social media make everyone easily reachable, accessibility can weaken a person's appeal. Valuing your time above all else is key. Just as the Stoics teach us to focus on what's within our control, you control how much of yourself you offer and when. By guarding your time and not being at her beck and call, you're not being rude or manipulative. You're showing her that your time is precious and that you're pursuing your own path. In fact, by doing this, you're also practicing self-respect, which is key to Stoic life lessons. Remember, it's not about disappearing or playing hard to get for the sake of it. It's about living with intention and showing her that your life, filled with purpose and focus, is what makes you so valuable. In a world where everyone is just a text away, being slightly out of reach is alluring. Focus on being the man who respects his own boundaries and doesn't allow anyone to pull him off track. High-value men know their worth and don't need constant validation from someone else's attention. That's the essence of Stoicism, living in alignment with your own values and not seeking validation from external sources. Apply this to your relationships by creating balance. When you do engage with her, make it meaningful. But always remember to pull back just enough to keep that element of mystery alive. The pursuit is what sparks attraction, not the certainty of always having you there. If this resonates with you, leave a comment below or simply type, "I don't chase, I attract." This affirmation is more than just words. It's a mindset rooted in Stoic life lessons. Number 2, be difficult. Let's talk about something crucial that most guys overlook: being difficult. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why would anyone want to be difficult? Don't women always say they want a guy who's straightforward and easy to get along with? Sure, they say that, but here's the reality. People, including women, get bored when things come too easily. Think about the last time you got something without working for it. It probably didn't hold as much value in your eyes, right? The same goes for relationships. Women don't want a man who's a pushover, someone who's predictable and always available at the drop of a hat. That's where being difficult comes into play. Not in the sense of being rude or arrogant, but in creating a bit of mystery, making her work for your attention, time, and energy. It's about establishing boundaries and showing that you're not just going to roll over for anyone. This is where the principle of Stoic happiness kicks in. Stoicism teaches us that our self-worth doesn't depend on external validation. We find fulfillment from within, and we carry that into every interaction, including romantic ones. Here's an example from modern life. Think of a man who is confident in his career, knows where he's headed, and doesn't drop everything the moment someone calls him. He's focused on his purpose, and that makes him more attractive because he's not dependent on anyone else for his sense of worth. Women notice this. He's difficult in the sense that he doesn't make it easy for others to pull him off track. He's not unkind, but he also doesn't let himself be controlled by other people's whims. This level of focus, confidence, and self-discipline is something Stoicism still emphasizes today as a powerful trait to cultivate. By being a little hard to get, you're not playing games. You're reminding her and yourself of your value. You're telling her that you won't be swayed easily, that you're not going to bend to every request or let her dictate your actions. This makes her work to be part of your life, and that challenge, that effort, makes you stand out. It forces her to step up to your level. Do you ever wonder why the guy who's just a bit harder to read often stays on her mind longer? It's because he presents a challenge, and people love challenges. It's human nature to be more drawn to what we can't fully figure out. That's what keeps things interesting. It creates tension, and that tension is what keeps the attraction alive. But remember, this isn't about manipulating or withholding affection. It's about setting standards for yourself and maintaining them. If you find these insights helpful, don't hesitate to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's continue to explore the profound influence of Stoicism together. Number 3, be unapologetically authentic. Being unapologetically authentic isn't just a buzzword. It's the foundation of real confidence. Think about it. How many people out there are putting on masks, trying to be someone they're not, just to impress others? But here's the secret. Authenticity is power, and women secretly admire men who are bold enough to be themselves without fear. Sure, you might have quirks or things you think are weird, but when you own them, you transform those so-called flaws into strengths. The moment you stop trying to conform to society's or anyone else's standards and start embracing the real you, you begin to radiate a Stoic mindset. As Epictetus once said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." This isn't about faking it until you make it. It's about owning your identity so fully that you command attention simply by being present. Women have a radar for authenticity, and the moment they sense you're wearing a mask, they lose interest. But when you're unapologetically yourself, flaws and all, you're showing a kind of confidence that's unshakable. This isn't the manufactured bravado most people associate with confidence, but the real, raw kind that comes from knowing yourself and not needing anyone's approval to feel whole. You become a high-value man, the kind who isn't swayed by external opinions because your sense of worth comes from within. And here's the kicker. Women love this, even if they don't admit it. Why? Because most men are terrified of showing their true selves. They hide behind layers of perfectionism, afraid that revealing their flaws will push women away. But in reality, it's the man who stands firm in his truth that women find irresistible. They're drawn to his energy, his fearlessness, and his unwavering sense of self. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." Let me ask you this. When was the last time you truly allowed yourself to be seen for who you are? Not the version of yourself you think others want, but the unfiltered, real you. If you're hesitant to answer, then it's time to rethink how you're showing up in your relationships and in your life. The Stoic mindset teaches us to focus on what we can control, ourselves, and to let go of the things we cannot, like the opinions of others. Winning in life and in relationships isn't about trying to fit into some pre-packaged mold of what you think a high-value man should be. It's about owning your identity with so much confidence that people are naturally drawn to you. The ability to be authentic in a world where everyone is trying to be something they're not is a superpower. When you tap into that, you win Stoic, win life. So the next time you find yourself trying to impress someone by being someone other than who you really are, stop. Ask yourself, am I presenting myself as the best version of myself, or am I trying to fit into someone else's version of success? This is where the game changes. High-value men understand that their worth is not tied to the opinions of others. It's tied to their ability to stand firm in their truth. So, are you ready to stop pretending and start winning? As soon as you do, everything in your life, including the women you attract, will change for the better. If you're ready, comment "winning" below to show your determination. Number 4. Do not submit to her lead. Have you ever noticed that women often say they want one thing, but their attraction seems to lean towards something else entirely? This brings us to a critical point that high-value men must understand: the art of leadership in relationships. One of the toxic traits that women secretly love, but may never openly admit, is a man who refuses to submit to her lead. While this may stir up some controversy, the truth is that attraction follows certain patterns that haven't really changed, even as society evolves. Seneca once said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." In the context of relationships, craving to meet every one of her demands is a form of weakness, a hunger to please that ultimately leaves you poorer in her eyes. A Stoic life lesson embedded here is the realization that submission not only diminishes your value in her view, but also disrupts the natural order of attraction. Women may verbalize that they want a man who listens and follows their lead, but the moment you start bending to every whim, something shifts. Her interest begins to fade. The reasoning is simple. A high-value man does not shape himself around another's commands. Attraction is deeply rooted in a sense of leadership and decisiveness. This doesn't mean being domineering or disrespectful. It's about maintaining your own sense of purpose and direction. In fact, one of the most important Stoic life lessons revolves around self-mastery and the understanding that true power lies in controlling yourself, not others. Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." If you're constantly submitting to her desires, you signal a loss of control over your own life and a lack of leadership, both of which are major turn-offs. Think of it this way. Leadership doesn't mean disregarding her feelings or opinions, but rather making decisions that align with your own principles and values, and being confident enough to take charge when necessary. It's about being the captain of your own ship, even when the waters get rough. Women respect a man who knows where he's going, and in return, that respect deepens her attraction. Let's bring this to modern life. In today's world, men are often encouraged to be more sensitive and more in tune with their partner's needs, and there's value in that. But never confuse empathy with submission. The moment you give up your authority, you give up the very thing that made you attractive in the first place. Your strength society may paint a picture of relationships as being a perfectly balanced dance, but in reality, women are naturally drawn to the man who leads. This is why many relationships falter when men start becoming followers instead of leaders. If you allow her to steer every aspect of your life, you may think you're being accommodating, but in reality, you're making her lose faith in your ability to guide, protect, and stand firm in your decisions. This brings us to a crucial piece of advice. Be the leader in your life, not a follower in hers. To live a life of high value, adopt the mindset of a Stoic leader who is unfazed by external pressures and stays true to his core values. What is Stoicism, if not the art of mastering oneself in the face of external challenges? Whether it's in your career, personal life, or relationships, the principles of Stoicism teach us that the only true control we have is over ourselves. Lead with confidence, and let her be drawn to the strength that radiates from your decisiveness, your vision, and your unyielding pursuit of purpose. That's where true attraction lies, and that's the key to living as a high-value man in a world full of distractions and misleading advice. If you find these insights helpful, don't hesitate to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's continue to explore the profound influence of Stoicism together. Number 5. Do not fear losing. Her confidence is one of the most magnetic qualities a man can possess, especially when it comes to relationships. It's not just about looking the part or having smooth lines. True confidence comes from within and radiates outward. One of the most powerful yet subtle traits you can adopt is the ability to not fear losing her. This doesn't mean you should treat her carelessly or with indifference, but rather that you need to understand your own value and not place her on a pedestal. When you're constantly afraid that she might leave, you're not just showing insecurity, you're telegraphing to her that you believe she's out of your league. It creates an unspoken imbalance that can sabotage the relationship. The more you fear losing her, the more you're pushing her away, because nobody wants to feel like they're the center of someone's world to the point of desperation. Now, let me tell you a story that perfectly illustrates this principle. Imagine two men, both equally successful and attractive. One spends all his time worrying about what his partner is thinking, fearing that if he doesn't do everything perfectly, she'll leave. The other man values his partner, but he understands that his worth is not defined by her presence in his life. He doesn't panic if she doesn't respond to his texts immediately, nor does he obsess over her every move. Over time, the first man starts to come across as needy, always seeking reassurance and validation. His fear of losing her becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, and eventually she begins to pull away. Meanwhile, the second man's calm confidence draws his partner closer, because his sense of self-worth makes her feel secure rather than overwhelmed. This story happens every day in modern relationships. So ask yourself, which man are you being right now? The one who clings to the relationship out of fear, or the one who confidently walks forward, knowing that whatever happens, he'll be fine? When you live with the idea that you don't need anyone to complete you, you project strength and security. And it's not just about romantic relationships. This applies to all areas of life. Stoicism teaches us to remain grounded in our own happiness, independent of external factors. When you understand that your inner peace, your Stoic happiness, comes from within, you'll realize that relationships are a beautiful part of life, but not the entirety of it. This mindset makes you far more attractive to others because people are drawn to those who are content in their own skin, who aren't desperately seeking validation from the world around them. So here's the lesson. Cultivate confidence by being comfortable with the possibility of loss, not in a careless way, but in a way that shows you understand that life is full of change and people come and go. Stoicism teaches us to accept this reality with serenity. As a man of high value, your self-esteem should never be tied to the approval or presence of anyone else. Instead, your foundation should be built on the Stoic principles of inner peace and resilience. The next time you find yourself fearing that you might lose her, remember this: you have nothing to lose if you still have yourself. How can you practice this mindset in your daily life? How can you begin to manifest yourself as the man who is comfortable with his own independence, knowing that Stoic happiness lies within? The lesson here is simple. When you stop being afraid of loss, you gain everything. If you accept this lesson, please comment below with "I accept," so we can continue this journey. Number 6. Put yourself and your purpose first. Let me tell you something important, something that's often overlooked. Put yourself and your purpose first. This is one of the most crucial traits that high-value men must master, not only to win in life, but to naturally attract the right people, including women, into your world. You see, there's an undeniable power in prioritization. The world is filled with distractions, and if you don't have a clear sense of direction, you're just another leaf blowing in the wind at the mercy of outside forces. But a man with a purpose, a man with a clear mission, stands out like a beacon of light. You might be the funniest, most charming person in the room, but without a purpose, you're just another face in the crowd. Having a clear goal, whether it's in your career, personal development, or growth, makes you compelling. It's the reason why high-value men always prioritize their passions, dreams, and personal growth, because purpose is attractive, not only to others, but to yourself. Women, whether they say it out loud or not, are instinctively drawn to men who know where they're headed. Why? Because it signals ambition and stability. Leadership traits that align with the Stoic mindset. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. When you focus on your mission, you automatically embody that energy. Purpose is your compass, your guiding star. It helps you remain calm, even when life gets chaotic, because you know that no matter what, you're moving in the right direction. A man without purpose is like a ship without a captain, aimless, lost, and unsteady. But with purpose, you're the captain of your ship, charting your course through life's unpredictable seas. And trust me, women are naturally inclined to gravitate toward that kind of stability. You provide emotional, intellectual, and even spiritual security, not just financial. And that's what makes you irreplaceable. Now let's be real. There will always be challenges and distractions trying to derail you. But here's where the Stoic mindset comes into play. As Epictetus said, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. When you live according to your purpose, you're not swayed by fleeting desires or temporary setbacks. You become focused, disciplined, and above all, resilient. And this resilience is exactly what attracts others to you. High-value men know that they don't chase, they lead. They don't beg for attention or validation because they're too busy fulfilling their destiny. And that energy is magnetic. When you win at life by prioritizing your purpose, you naturally win the respect, admiration, and attention of those around you. It's inevitable. So here's my question to you. What's driving you? Are you living each day with clear intention, or are you just floating through life hoping things will fall into place? Take a moment and think deeply about what you're truly passionate about, what fuels your spirit. Because once you identify that, You'll not only elevate yourself, but also draw the right people toward you effortlessly. Remember, a man on a mission is unstoppable. When you put your goals first, the right opportunities, and yes, the right relationships, will follow naturally. Are you ready to embrace that kind of power? High-value men don't just talk about it, they live it every single day. So, are you ready to win? Number 7, be challenging. In today's world, we often hear that women want a man who's easygoing, someone who goes with the flow. But what happens when you take that too far? You become too predictable, too easy to read, and in the long run, that's a fast lane to being labeled as just a friend. While you don't want to be difficult for the sake of being difficult, you absolutely don't want to be a pushover. In Stoic life lessons, one of the key principles is to maintain control over your reactions. If you don't agree with her, say it. Don't just nod along to keep the peace. That's not what high-value men do. Women appreciate a man who can respectfully challenge them because it shows confidence and depth. Think of it as a mental sparring match, a dynamic that can elevate your relationship by adding an air of excitement and unpredictability. Being challenging doesn't mean being rude or dismissive. It means not dropping everything every time she snaps her fingers. It means having your own life, your own priorities, and not letting them go just because she expects you to. A high-value man is someone who knows his worth and isn't afraid to stand by it. Stoicism teaches us to remain calm under pressure and not seek external validation. This applies to relationships too. When you're too agreeable, you give away your power. You lose that masculine edge that women are biologically programmed to respect. Just like anything of value, attention that has to be earned is treasured far more than attention that's freely given. So how do you strike the right balance? It's about timing and intent. You don't challenge for the sake of creating conflict, but you also don't fold under pressure. A woman will respect a man who stands up for himself, and she'll find it intriguing when she has to put in effort to win your attention. It turns the dynamic on its head, making her more invested in the relationship. In modern life, it's easy to confuse being a good guy with being passive. The key difference is that a good guy knows his boundaries and isn't afraid to enforce them. This doesn't just apply to romantic relationships, but to every area of life. What is Stoicism, if not the art of maintaining control over your responses and living according to your principles? In your interactions with women, don't be afraid to stand your ground when you disagree or when you need to prioritize yourself. This isn't about playing games, but about cultivating respect, and respect is the foundation of any successful relationship. Remember, women love a challenge because it stimulates their emotional investment. When they have to work for your attention, they appreciate it more. It's human nature to value what we have to put effort into, and this principle is no different in romantic dynamics. So next time you feel the urge to please at the expense of your own needs, take a step back. You are the captain of your own life, and that is where true attraction lies. This, my friend, is one of the ultimate Stoic life lessons. To be challenging is to hold your own value high, not bending for anyone else's convenience. If you find these insights helpful, don't hesitate to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's continue to explore the profound influence of Stoicism together. Number 8. Do not get attached to outcomes. One of the most powerful traits you can cultivate as a high-value man is learning not to get attached to outcomes. Now, this might sound counterintuitive, but stay with me. Ever notice how women tend to gravitate toward men who seem like they couldn't care less about whether they win or lose? That's no coincidence. When you're not fixated on a specific outcome, whether it's getting her attention, approval, or even securing a relationship, You project a level of self-assuredness and freedom that's incredibly attractive. This is the essence of being outcome independent. When you adopt this mindset, you're not operating out of fear or desperation. Instead, you're content with whatever happens. And here's the kicker: women can sense that. It's basic psychology. People in general are drawn to what they can't fully possess or control. When you're relaxed and open to whatever outcome presents itself, she feels your ease, and it piques her interest even more. It's not about playing games. It's about knowing your worth so deeply that you're fine with or without a specific outcome. Let me tell you a story to put this into perspective. Picture a guy named James. James was confident, successful, and wasn't overly concerned with how women perceived him. He wasn't rude or dismissive, but he didn't go out of his way to win anyone over either. Whether it was in his career, his friendships, or his dating life, James approached everything with the mindset that he'd be fine no matter what happened. He understood that his happiness wasn't tied to whether someone liked him, hired him, or dated him. And guess what? People, especially women, were drawn to him because of his calm confidence and self-reliance. Women were drawn to James's sense of calm and detachment. They were intrigued by his ability to walk away from situations without losing his cool. He didn't seek validation. He didn't need it. This is what we mean when we talk about Stoic happiness, finding contentment within yourself regardless of external outcomes. Imagine living your life like that, where you're not bound by the fear of rejection or failure. What would change for you? Now think about your own life. Are there situations where you are too attached to an outcome? Maybe it's a relationship where you feel like you need her approval to feel good about yourself. Or perhaps it's a work situation where you're obsessed with getting a promotion. How do you feel when things don't go your way? Do you feel anxious, frustrated, or like you're less worthy? The truth is, when you learn to let go of this attachment, you'll experience a new sense of peace. Women will notice and they'll respect that energy. And here's the thing, you don't have to force anything. The more comfortable you are with letting go, the more you'll find people, including women, wanting to move toward you. If you've mastered this tactic, comment below with "I am attractive," so we can all attract the best. Number 9. Have female friends. All right, let's dive into this lesson on social proof and how it connects with having female friends as a high-value man. Now, imagine this. You're out there being your best self, practicing a Stoic mindset, but sometimes the power dynamic in relationships can feel a bit uneven. That's where having female friends comes into play. It's not just about friendships. It's about creating a subtle psychological advantage that works in your favor. When women see you surrounded by other females, it's like a signal goes off in their minds. If these women find him interesting or attractive, maybe I should too. This concept is known as social proof, and it's powerful. You're not directly saying, "Look how great I am," but you're letting your social circle do the talking for you. It's a natural, almost instinctual reaction. People are drawn to what others approve of, and women are no exception. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." By simply being around other women, you're showing that you are indeed someone worth noticing. But there's a deeper layer to this. When you have female friends, you're not only displaying social proof, you're also showing that you don't need her validation or attention to feel confident. You're in control, and you're not desperate for her to fill that role in your life. This, my friend, puts you in a position of power. You've heard it before. Women are naturally competitive, especially when it comes to romantic interests. If she senses that you have the attention of other women who are comfortable around you, it ignites a spark of competition in her. She might start thinking, if they see something in him, I need to prove that I'm even better. and suddenly she's the one chasing you, trying to win your approval. This, in essence, is how high-value men flip the script. However, here's the key. You need to keep these friendships respectful and genuine. Don't treat it like a game where you're using women to boost your ego. A high-value man understands that authenticity is at the heart of any meaningful interaction. Your female friends should truly value you for who you are, and that energy will naturally translate into your other relationships. As Epictetus taught, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Stay grounded in your Stoic mindset. It's not about manipulating situations, but about presenting the best version of yourself consistently. Now, a question for you to reflect on. How can you cultivate these friendships with women in a way that aligns with your values while also enhancing your social proof? It's important to approach this with wisdom and self-awareness. Remember, it's not about the quantity of female attention, but the quality of the relationships you build. When you approach life with a Stoic mindset, focused on self-improvement and genuine connection, you'll naturally attract the right people, including women who recognize your worth without you having to prove it in obvious ways. This is the essence of being a high-value man, one who wins in all areas of life, including love and relationships. If you find these insights helpful, don't hesitate to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's continue to explore the profound influence of Stoicism together. Number 10. Be playfully dominant. Have you ever wondered why some women are irresistibly drawn to certain men, even though those men seem to display traits that on the surface are contradictory? There's a hidden allure in how some behaviors are carried out, especially when done with the right balance of confidence and charm. One of these traits, something high-value men understand well, is the art of being playfully dominant. It's not about being overbearing or controlling. It's about leading with a light touch, where your confidence meets an undercurrent of humor. As Epictetus said, no great thing is created suddenly, and mastering this balance takes time, effort, and a deep understanding of human nature. Women love a man who is sure of himself, not because he dominates with force, but because he can guide the flow of interactions effortlessly, leaving both people feeling engaged and respected. Being playfully dominant means asserting control in a way that makes both you and her feel good. It's about knowing what you want and expressing it with confidence, but without the heavy-handedness that can push people away. A Stoic approach teaches us to be calm and steady, and in this case, that calm is paired with a sense of fun. You're showing that you can take charge of situations, but not in a way that feels oppressive or rigid. Women are instinctively drawn to this balance because it shows you have strength, but also that you know how to keep things light and enjoyable. It's the difference between guiding and dictating, between leading and pushing, and between asserting yourself with poise versus force. Imagine, just briefly, a situation where you've set a boundary or made a decision. How you carry yourself in that moment, whether you do so with tense authority or relaxed confidence, makes all the difference. Playful dominance isn't about being the loudest voice in the room or demanding attention. It's about using subtle cues, like a well-timed smile or a confident stance, to signal that you're in control of the situation, but in a way that invites collaboration and mutual respect. A woman feels safer and more engaged with a man who exudes this level of competence without the need for overexertion. It's a Stoic life lesson in action, to be steady, strong, and assertive without ever letting that control slip into domination. In today's world, where balance is key in all relationships, understanding this dynamic can significantly improve your interactions. When you show you can assert control with charm, what you're really doing is embodying a deep Stoic principle, mastery over yourself. The greatest strength comes from within, and playful dominance is a demonstration of that self-mastery. You're not looking to overpower someone else, but rather to guide the interaction in a way that is engaging and beneficial for both parties. It's the kind of trait women might not openly admit they find attractive, but it's the reason they're drawn to men who carry themselves with this type of confidence. Women are intuitive and often read into body language and subtle cues more than you might realize. When you display playful dominance, it shows them that you're a high-value man who doesn't need to shout or demand attention because you naturally command it. It's in these quiet, confident moments that you reveal your strength, and that strength, when balanced with charm, is magnetic. So as you continue to navigate through life, remember this Stoic principle. The strongest man is the one who controls himself first. By mastering playful dominance, you're not only enhancing your relationships, but also living in alignment with the principles of Stoicism, calm strength and self-assurance in all things. As we wrap up, remember that the traits we've discussed aren't about manipulation, but about reclaiming your personal power and embodying strength, confidence, and independence. When applied wisely, these qualities can enhance your relationships and lead you to a more purpose-driven life. Balance is key. Use these traits strategically, but don't go overboard. The goal is to improve yourself and attract others naturally, not to force a reaction. 7 powerful ways to show a man your worth, without saying a single word. High-value men, Stoic life lessons. Actions speak louder than words. This timeless saying perfectly captures the essence of today's discussion on how to show a man your worth without uttering a single word. In a world where many women believe they must vocalize their value, it's essential to recognize that true worth is often conveyed through presence, confidence, and self-respect. As you watch this video, I encourage you to reflect on these principles and consider how they can transform your relationships and personal growth. What are your thoughts on this? Share your experiences in the comments below, and let's explore the power of subtlety together. Number 1. Know your worth. Before you can truly show a man your value, you must first ensure that you deeply understand and embrace your own worth. This is not just about knowing it on the surface, but about having an unshakable intrinsic belief in your value that is etched into your very being. Many women believe they understand their worth until they face rejection or criticism, which causes their perceived confidence to crumble. True worth is not swayed by the opinions of others. It remains steadfast and unmovable, much like the wisdom of the Stoics, who remind us that external events do not disturb us. Our interpretations of them do. To assess your true sense of worth, reflect on your past behaviors and relationships. If you have tolerated disrespect, accepted poor behavior, or remained in toxic situations, it might indicate that your self-worth is not as strong as you believe. Even if you've worked on yourself and become more aware of toxic patterns, the temptation to tolerate unacceptable behavior from someone you like suggests that you still haven't fully embraced your value. Remember, as the Stoics teach, the ultimate power lies in controlling your reactions, not the actions of others. Anger is another powerful indicator of unresolved self-worth issues. Many women who struggle with this concept. Many women who think they have a firm grip on their value still harbor resentment when men don't treat them as they believe they deserve. This anger reveals that there's still inner work to be done. Those who truly know their worth remain calm, understanding that not every man will recognize their value, and that's perfectly fine. They don't seek validation from others because they have already validated themselves. As Epictetus wisely said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This Stoic life lesson reminds us that inner peace and self-assurance are the true measures of self-worth. Another method to gauge your self-worth is through introspection. Sit quietly and ask yourself, what is my worth? Pay attention to the emotions that surface. If you feel discomfort, doubt, or even pain, it might signify wounds that still need healing or traumas that haven't been fully addressed. Recognizing these feelings is the first step toward building a stronger sense of self-worth. The Stoics believed in the power of self-examination, urging us to confront our inner struggles with honesty and courage. Ladies, it's essential to know your worth before stepping into the dating world. You might wear the finest clothes and walk with apparent confidence, but if your self-worth isn't solid, it will inevitably show. Men, whether consciously or subconsciously, will sense your insecurities, and no amount of external polish can hide that. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." By cultivating thoughts rooted in self-respect and unwavering worth, you can command the respect and admiration of those around you without uttering a single word. This is the essence of Stoic happiness, where true contentment comes from within, regardless of external circumstances. Comment "I agree" if you resonate with this perspective, or "I don't think so" if you have a different opinion. Number 2, present yourself with respect. When you want to show a man your worth without uttering a single word, one of the most powerful ways is to demonstrate that you take yourself seriously. Your actions, demeanor, and self-care must reflect a deep sense of self-worth, signaling to those around you that you know your value. Ask yourself, do you truly act like someone who respects and loves themselves? Do you treat yourself with the care and appreciation that you deserve? The way you present yourself to the world speaks volumes about how others should treat you. As Robert Greene states in the 48 Laws of Power, act like a king to be treated like one. This wisdom means that how you carry yourself and the energy you project will often dictate how others perceive and treat you. If you carry yourself with confidence and grace, believing that you are destined for greatness, this aura will naturally influence those around you, especially men, who will sense that your confidence must be rooted in something real and worthy. Conversely, men can easily pick up on signs that you don't value yourself, even if you expect them to. The way you dress, the food you choose to eat, how much you invest in yourself, and how you allow others to treat you, all of these behaviors communicate your level of self-worth. If you want men to see you as someone deserving of the best, you must first show that you believe you deserve the best. This doesn't mean you need to spend extravagantly, but within your means, you should always aim to give yourself the best you can afford. For instance, if you hope a man will buy you thoughtful gifts, start by purchasing nice things for yourself. When you treat yourself well, you set a standard for how others should treat you. If you want to be wined and dined, make sure you're already feeding yourself with good quality food and taking care of your body. Occasionally take yourself out to a nice place, perhaps lunch at a stylish restaurant, which can be more budget-friendly and more comfortable when dining alone. This way, you familiarize yourself with the experience you desire, making it a natural expectation for others to follow suit. A woman who regularly treats herself to small luxuries, be it a nice piece of jewelry, a beautifully prepared meal, or an afternoon at a serene cafe, is someone who silently communicates to the world that she knows her worth. She doesn't need to ask for special treatment. Her actions speak louder than words. Men notice this, and those who value quality will be drawn to her, understanding that she is someone who respects herself and therefore commands respect from others. This approach embodies the principles of Stoicism today, where a Stoic mindset teaches that your value is not in what you say, but in how you live your life daily. Are you ready to show the world your worth? Start by treating yourself as the valuable person you are and watch how others begin to mirror that treatment. If you find these insights helpful, don't hesitate to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's continue to explore the profound influence of Stoicism together. Number 3. Focus on actions, not words. When it comes to showing a man your worth without uttering a single word, one of the most powerful ways is to focus on actions, not words. In today's world, words can be easily thrown around, often with little meaning behind them. The truth is, actions speak louder than words, and as a high-value woman, you understand this. When a man showers you with sweet talk or makes promises, your response shouldn't be a verbal exchange. Instead, you should let your expectations be known through your silence and your actions. For instance, when he says something that sounds appealing, you don't need to challenge him with words like, "How can you prove that?" or "How do I know this is true?" Instead, show that you're waiting for his actions to align with his words. This kind of response is more powerful and speaks volumes about your self-worth. Men are keenly aware that there are two types of women, those who are easily swayed by charming words and those who are not. High-value women like yourself fall into the latter category. You understand that words without corresponding actions are meaningless. So, when a man realizes that you're silently observing his actions rather than reacting to his words, he knows he's dealing with someone who values herself and expects the same from others. This is the essence of being a high-value woman. Your worth is evident in how you carry yourself and in the standards you set, not in what you demand from others. It's important to note that a high-value woman never demands anything from a man. Demanding comes from a place of insecurity and neediness, which is not the energy you want to project. Instead, your approach is to watch and wait. If his actions don't match his words, or if he fails to deliver on his promises, you quietly remove yourself from the situation. You don't need to make a scene or confront him, because you know your value and you won't settle for less than you deserve. This approach isn't just about relationships, it's a Stoic life lesson that can be applied in all areas of life. The philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This wisdom aligns perfectly with the mindset of a high-value woman. You don't react impulsively or emotionally to what is said to you. Instead, you observe, think, and make decisions based on actions rather than empty words. So ask yourself, how are you currently showing your worth through your actions? Are you silently observing and letting your actions speak for themselves, or are you getting caught up in the need to verbally express your expectations? Remember, true power lies in your ability to maintain your standards and walk away from anything that doesn't meet them. How will you apply this Stoic principle to your interactions this week? This is a question that challenges you to reflect on your actions and encourages you to engage with the Stoic mindset of high-value men and women alike. Number 4. Show, don't tell your boundaries. When it comes to asserting your boundaries, words often fall short. To truly command respect, especially in the eyes of others, you must embody your boundaries through your actions. Telling someone your boundaries outright, such as saying, "I deserve better than this," or "If you do this again, I will react in a certain way," often dilutes the impact. The power of your boundaries doesn't lie in their verbalization, but in the unwavering energy you project. Most boundaries are universally understood. They are conventional expectations within relationships. Rarely are boundaries so unique that they require explicit explanation. Instead, your demeanor and the way you carry yourself should naturally signal that you are a person who upholds their standards without compromise. This subtle yet powerful display of self-respect discourages any attempts to overstep your limits. In the realm of Stoic happiness, remaining composed and unyielding in the face of challenges is paramount. Just as a strong oak tree stands firm against the wind, so too must you remain steadfast when others test your boundaries. Men by nature are known to test limits, not out of malice, but to understand the strength and integrity of the person they are with. It's a common scenario. A man might push the limits just to see how far he can go, often retreating if confronted. However, the key is not in confrontation, but in your silent withdrawal. You don't need to explain, argue, or demand apologies. Instead, by simply removing yourself from the situation, walking away without a word, you send a clear message that you will not tolerate disrespect or a violation of your boundaries. Disrespect leaves the other party in a state of reflection, questioning whether they will ever have the privilege of your presence again. This silent yet powerful response not only enforces your boundaries, but also shifts the dynamic in your favor. If the man in question truly values you, this experience will serve as a stark lesson, one that ensures he won't repeat the mistake. Only then, when he comes back seeking to make amends, can you choose to explain the boundary he crossed. By doing so, you not only reaffirm your worth, but also set a precedent that your boundaries are non-negotiable. This is the essence of Stoicism, maintaining your power through calm, deliberate action rather than emotional outbursts. In modern life, this approach is especially relevant. We live in a world where respect and self-worth are often communicated through loud, aggressive means, but true strength lies in the ability to enforce your standards without raising your voice. By silently upholding your boundaries, you align yourself with the timeless wisdom of Stoic life lessons, teaching others to respect you not because you demand it, but because you embody it. Remember, the less you say, the more they will understand the weight of your actions. In the end, it is your Stoic happiness, rooted in the quiet confidence of knowing your worth, that will command the respect you deserve. Are you ready to make these changes in your life? Leave a comment saying, "I am ready," below this video. Number 5. Make access to you earned. One of the most powerful ways to demonstrate your worth without uttering a single word is by ensuring that access to you is a privilege that must be earned. The way you present yourself speaks volumes, and dressing with elegance and subtle allure is key. While it's perfectly fine to embrace a bit of sexiness in your wardrobe, it's crucial to avoid revealing too much. Your appearance should convey that you are someone who values herself deeply, not someone who easily gives away a part of herself for everyone to see. This concept extends beyond how you dress. It's also about the boundaries you set and the standards you uphold. Saying yes too quickly, especially in the early stages of getting to know someone, can send the wrong message. For instance, avoid spending time at a man's place during the first few dates. This is about maintaining your space and not rushing into situations that might compromise your sense of self. Intimacy should be reserved for when you feel truly comfortable and confident in the direction of the relationship. In fact, waiting a month or 2, or even 3, before taking that step can solidify the foundation of mutual respect and understanding. Similarly, refrain from engaging in sexting or sending intimate photos. These actions can cheapen the connection and give away parts of yourself that should be earned, not freely given. Another essential point is to control when and where you meet. Until a relationship is established, always choose public places for your encounters. Inviting a man into your personal space too early can blur the lines of respect and expectation. Even once you're in a relationship, maintaining a balance where he visits your space less frequently than you visit his helps reinforce the idea that access to you is something special and not to be taken lightly. Your energy, time, and presence are valuable commodities, and any man who is truly interested in you should be willing to invest effort and show genuine commitment to be a part of your life. In our fast-paced modern world, it's easy to forget that true value isn't in how quickly you can give yourself away, but in how carefully you guard your worth. Imagine meeting a successful woman who's confident in her boundaries. She doesn't need to flaunt everything about herself to gain attention. Instead, her confidence and self-assuredness draw people in. Her confidence radiates through her actions, her choices, and her demeanor. This is the kind of woman men respect and cherish, someone who knows her worth and isn't afraid to show it without saying a word. As you navigate your relationships, ask yourself, how can you ensure that the access to your time, energy, and presence reflects the true value you hold within? By being mindful of these boundaries and practicing restraint, you cultivate a Stoic mindset that commands respect and admiration. Number 6. Be ready to walk away. Always be ready to walk away. When it comes to showing a man your worth without uttering a single word, one of the most powerful ways is to carry the energy of being ready to walk away at any moment. This is not just about setting boundaries, though boundaries are crucial, but about maintaining a mindset that prioritizes your self-respect above all else. As a woman of high value, you should never feel compelled to stay in a relationship at the cost of your dignity or self-worth. Whether the reason is abusive behavior, dishonesty, infidelity, or simply a lack of respect, being prepared to walk away is a clear signal of your strength and self-respect. The ability to leave when necessary is not a weakness. It's a testament to your understanding that your happiness and self-respect are non-negotiable. Entering a relationship with the mindset that you are willing to walk away if the need arises sets a powerful tone. It ensures that you are not entering unconditionally, which, contrary to popular belief, is not the hallmark of a strong relationship. Instead, knowing that you can walk away, no matter how much you may care for a man, keeps the relationship dynamic and balanced. It prevents you from compromising your values or losing yourself in the process of trying to maintain the relationship. However, this doesn't mean you should be quick to leave at the first sign of trouble. Relationships require effort, understanding, and sometimes compromise. But even within a committed relationship, it's vital to keep in mind that walking away is always an option if the core values of respect and integrity are compromised. This subtle yet firm conditionality is often what strengthens marriages and long-term partnerships. It keeps both parties, especially men, aware that love and loyalty are earned through mutual respect and understanding, not taken for granted. The notion that showing undying loyalty, regardless of how you are treated, will make a man love you more is a dangerous myth. In reality, a high-value man will respect a woman who respects herself enough to walk away when necessary. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely noted, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. In the context of relationships, this means that your reaction to being disrespected or undervalued by being willing to leave speaks volumes about your worth and the standards you uphold. Before we reveal the 7th key, take a moment to subscribe to our channel and become part of our community of great minds. Don't forget to like this video so you don't miss any of our invaluable advice. Number 7. Embrace healthy skepticism. When it comes to displaying your worth as a high-value woman, one of the most powerful tools you can wield is a healthy degree of skepticism. In a world filled with empty promises, smooth talkers, and those who would take advantage of your trust, showing that you are not easily fooled sends a strong message about your self-respect and discernment. Skepticism isn't about being cynical or mistrustful of everyone you meet. It's about protecting your inner peace and maintaining your standards in the face of potential deceit. Think of skepticism as your shield. It's there to protect you, not to isolate you. A healthy degree of skepticism means you strike a balance. You're neither naive nor overly suspicious. It's the ability to know when to lower your guard and when to keep it up. It's about being open to the good in people while also being wise enough to recognize when something doesn't add up. For instance, when someone presents an opportunity or makes a claim that seems too good to be true, your natural response should be to pause, question, and seek clarity. You're not living in a fantasy where everyone's intentions are pure, nor are you dismissing the potential for genuine goodness. Instead, you're navigating the complexities of human interactions with both optimism and caution. Imagine a situation where a man you've recently met begins to shower you with grand promises or tells stories that seem almost unreal. Instead of accepting his words at face value, you politely ask for more details or evidence to back up his claims. This isn't about doubting his integrity, it's about ensuring that you're not taken for a fool. By doing this, you communicate that you value truth over flattery, and that you're not someone who can be easily swayed by charm alone. You're demonstrating that your worth isn't something to be trifled with, and that you won't compromise your values for the sake of pleasing others. In a world where many people are out to exploit others' trust, your skepticism acts as a filter, allowing only the truth to pass through. It shows that you rely on critical thinking and are willing to engage in tough conversations to get to the bottom of things, even if it means risking discomfort. This approach not only protects you, but also sets a standard for how others should treat you. It's about asserting your right to question and not blindly accept what's being offered to you. Let's take a lesson from this. By exercising a healthy level of skepticism, you're not just protecting yourself from potential harm, you're also making it clear that your trust is something to be earned, not given away lightly. This doesn't mean you should walk around with your guard up at all times, but rather that you should trust your instincts and not be afraid to seek proof when something feels off. How often do you find yourself in situations where you should have asked more questions? Could exercising a bit more skepticism in your daily life help you avoid potential pitfalls? In today's world, where deception can be disguised as opportunity, adopting a Stoic mindset can help you navigate these challenges with grace and wisdom. Stoicism today teaches us that it's essential to remain grounded, to question what doesn't seem right, and to stay true to our values. Embrace skepticism as a tool for self-preservation and personal empowerment. By doing so, you ensure that your worth remains undeniable, your standards unshakable, and your life a reflection of the respect you have for yourself. As we conclude this video, remember that true worth is not about chasing after someone who pulls away, but in holding your value and recognizing your own strength. By embracing these principles, you not only show your worth, but also cultivate personal growth and happiness in your life. If you found this video helpful, I encourage you to share your thoughts or experiences in the comments below. Let's continue the conversation and support each other on our journey to becoming high-value individuals. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Win Stoic for more Stoic life lessons. A woman will use these 11 ways to test you. How to be a Stoic. Stoicism teaches us that challenges are what make life interesting, and overcoming them is what makes life meaningful. As Joshua Marine said, challenges are what make life interesting, and overcoming them is what makes life meaningful. Welcome to Win Stoic, where we explore the profound lessons of Stoicism to enhance our daily lives. Today, we dive into the subtle ways a woman might test you, not out of malice, but to gauge your reliability and steadfastness. These tests are opportunities to demonstrate patience, resilience, and self-control, key virtues in Stoic philosophy. Are you ready to embrace these challenges and strengthen your relationships? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Let's embark on this journey together and grow stronger with each step.